Potentially, it could get funded through the HSIP program, which would accelerate that by several years. There is also a federal program called Safe Streets and Roads for All, and I believe that this intersection would be a decent candidate for a direct grant from the Federal Highway Administration to fund that. That could also happen in a much faster time frame than a 10-year plan project. In that case, however, my understanding is that you would probably have to select the roundabout as the alternative for that. It seems the feds are only selecting the most, the alternatives that provide the most safety benefit. So the roundabout has much more safety benefit than a signal, so therefore that alternative would be have to be selected, probably to get that funding. Certainly not a guarantee. That's a very competitive program, but there's $1 billion available nationally for those types of projects. And this is, with 2 fatalities in recent years, this would be a good candidate for that type of project. It may accelerate that implementation a lot faster.
And would that be applied for at the town level, or?
That would be the town, probably, yeah, the town would directly apply for that. It would be 100% federally funded.
Even though we don't own the road?
Even if you don't own the road. It would be implemented by DOT, but the town would need to apply for it. But that's something that we can work with the community on and make sure that all those pieces are understood before any sort of application happens. And applications are done annually for that program. There's an initial round that starts about this time of year, and then they do rolling applications until all the money is spent. There's what I'm trying to say, I guess, is there's options for getting this funded in a faster manner than the thing budget.
Is the application period now for the Safe Streets grant?
Yes, but you are not eligible right now. We are working on a planning initiative right now to develop a safety action plan for the region, and that is a requirement that a safety action plan be adopted at the local or regional level before you're eligible to get implementation funds. By January, February of next year, we'll have the safety action plan adopted for the region, and then all of our communities will be eligible to apply for these funds.
So next year.
And then what about the original?
HSIP, that is run through DOT, and that would be their decision as to whether the project is sort of eligible for a full, the full thing is eligible to be funded through HSIP. I think it certainly meets the cost benefit criteria, which is 1, right? It has to be greater than 1, right? But it has to get into the mix with all the other HSIP projects from around the state in terms of what's the priority on. So that could delay it somewhat, or it could move fast. It's hard to say. And that would be something that you certainly should ask DOT about when you submit your letter. If this were fully funded by HSIP, what sort of time frame are we looking at? What is the possibility of it being fully funded that way?
No, thank you, Dave. I do appreciate that. You did touch on one thing that I did want to kind of reinforce a little bit, is that the long-term solution of the roundabout and the potential long-term solution of the traffic signal would have very similar costs in the long run. We do find signals are slightly cheaper than roundabouts, maybe $500,000 or so. And I say $500,000 like it's a casual number when it's not. I'll take $500,000 right now and walk out the door. But in terms of long-term maintenance, I mean, signals are, when was the last time you saw signals around here being replaced? I'm guessing probably not at all. Long-term maintenance and power outages and, again, the safety benefits of a roundabout far outweigh the signal. And you're right, the design time frame of them is on a very similar path as well. They both require a lot of design and analysis to go into this intersection. If a signal went in, we'd probably widen out to 4 lanes in each on 125, 3 lanes in one direction, 1 lane in another, to accommodate for turn lanes. You're looking at impacts. There's a couple businesses right on the corner that would have some impacts. The roundabout would have lesser, but there's a lot of things to consider. It's not just we want a signal, put in some foundations, and it's there tomorrow. There's still a lot of analysis and behind the scenes work that has to go into that as well. It's very comparable to a roundabout in terms of effort.
Hi, Robert Rossman, 55 Peabody Drive in Brentwood. So I live off the eastbound side of South Road, and one of the questions I have is when you're traveling down 125 and you come to the intersection and you want to take a left-hand turn, this picture illustrates it nicely. It doesn't come straight into South Road, it takes a quick right. And it's a difficult maneuver, especially when you're sitting there watching the cars coming behind you and you're saying, I hope I make it, I hope I make it. In any event, when I looked at your intermediate plan, it looked like it's straightened out. Are there any modifications to that bend in the road that's proposed?
On South Road, that
Yes.
you're referring to? So you're referring to
It's not like that.
top part of the diagram? Let me go back to the aerial shot. Can't really see it on here either, huh?
There's a bend in the road, it's,
So you're talking this one? Is that what you're talking about?
no, where it says South Road, so when you come take a
Oh,
look
just the,
from 125,
Yeah.
you're immediately turning right because it's not straight.
mhm.
It looks like it's corrected on your intermediate plan, but I don't see how you can do that.
Okay, look at that one more time.
Yeah, I think it's not intended to be corrected, it's slightly curving to the right.
Okay. It's just an issue when you're traveling, because it's the way it's striped.
It's hard.
You kind of like, it's a difficult turn. If anybody's made that turn,
It's
People are
actually,
going 55 miles an hour and they're making that turn, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden, the road isn't as straight as you think it is. It's got a little wave to it.
The one thing I would just add to that is the installation of that turn lane gives you the space to wait outside of traffic, so you're not worried about getting run into from behind, and you can make turns at your discretion and at a slower speed if possible.
You don't have to
Can you
tell
see if
me
that
what
mic is
it's
on?
this turn.
It sound like it's Could you see if the microphone's on?
Just wondering that.
There's a little button on the side. Just hold it for a second till it's green.
Hello? Eric Canty again, South Road. Can we eliminate that passing zone in the near term also? I'm assuming it would be part of the widening, the two turn lanes intermediate solution, but I mean, that passing zone just makes no sense to me with all the businesses there now, not just Heavenly Donuts. I mean, there's car dealerships, there's the dirt and gravel company there. Is that something that could be done in
That
the?
was part of the intermediate, right?
It's part of the intermediate, yeah, I think Eric's looking to do that like before the resurfacing and fixes would come through with the intermediate. I can discuss that with our Bureau of Traffic and see if or even district, see if they're willing to come out and just restripe the dotted line to be a solid on that one side. I don't have a guarantee one way or the
Yeah,
other, but I can bring it up to them. See if
I mean, it
that's-
would be included with the other solution, so it's just,
Right.
seems like it would be a pretty easy thing to tackle without incurring a lot of cost.
Yeah, I can ask about that in advance of the paving project that would come through to do the intermediate fix later this year.
Anyone else interested in commenting? Or anyone have any opinions for this board or for the town in terms of if you'd like to voice your opinion about how you'd like to see the town respond by letter?
We do a show of hands in
Sure.
favor of the intermediate solution,
Sure,
to make
absolutely.
it easier.
With the crowd. So let's start with the near-term solution. So that was restriping maybe a couple of years out. Anyone in favor of that option? I wouldn't think so, especially. Intermediate option, who would be interested in seeing that occur? Looks like a pretty hefty majority of the crowd. How about long-term option for roundabout? Pretty hefty, maybe not quite as much as intermediate, but a majority of the room. Any board members have questions for anybody in the crowd about that? I think it's pretty clear how the crowd feels. Okay. Anyone else interested in commenting?
I had a quick question about a roundabout. Would you have to take land by eminent domain?
That's a question for these folks, I think. Would it require any taking of land?
So if you look at this diagram, all these black lines on, I'm gonna use that finger and push anyone. all the black lines around the roundabout here are the right-of-way lines. So all of the work that we're proposing is inside those. So the short answer is no. There would be no property takes of any kind. I shouldn't say that. No predicted, because there could be drainage and such, drainage outfalls that you need something minor, but there's no major property takes that would be associated with a roundabout.
I would stress that it's conceptual. It appears there's a good amount of them, there wouldn't be significant impacts, but it's still a conceptual.
Good question, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it, thank you, everyone.
So Corey's saying that he has some business cards up here for folks that would like to contact or have questions. We'll give you a minute to clear out. If you're interested in leaving, you'd like to stay for the rest of our meeting, please do.
Oh, yeah, I meant to look at the last around here. Yeah, making progress and I went to the, yeah, because I couldn't make it. I just saw the movie, so
All right, we are going to try to continue with our meeting, so if people could move some discussions maybe outside, that would be great. Thank you to everyone who attended, and thank you to Councilor Stevens for being here as well. All right, we are going to move along with our meeting, and what we will do next is turn over to regular public comment. As usual, anyone is welcome to comment on any topic of their choosing. We'll ask you to come up to the mic, and please remember to state your name and your street address.
Probably follows her in Brentwood. It's Debbie Lurch, probably follows her in Brentwood. I'd like to approach the board in reference to 62 to 66 Route 125 in Brentwood, where there was a pending CT put on that property, and the particular person there has filed suit against the town. My problem is, excuse me, if this business at that location continues to operate 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, is doing processing at the location, which is not what the site had a permit to do. He is not allowed to process. Rock sorting is being done there. I have video that I can provide you with dust clouds constant noise, nonstop. I have had noise until 7:45, 7:55 p.m. that have been going on since 7 o'clock in the morning. I had presented the board at one of the meetings that I went to what the noise regulations are in the town of Brentwood, and it indicates that you should not be able to hear sound from the property guidelines, from the edge of the property should be no louder than a person speaking in a normal voice. This equipment that he has going over there is screeching. It's blowing dust. If you have driven by there, you're going to see all the silica dust, which causes cancer, that is blowing Route 125 from this location. They are constantly dropping rocks into metal bins, into dump trucks. It's nonstop. If this business were there before we moved in after they were there, you have to accept that because they were already there. The business is not affecting just myself. It is affecting, I have people from Lake Road that are complaining to me about it. I have people from South Road that are complaining to me about it. Crawley Falls Road, down the extension of Crawley Falls Road. He was issued a cease and desist. I understand that the lawsuit is pending. However, no action is being taken for him doing what he's doing now, which is totally against what he was granted a permit to do. And I would like to know what action could be taken. It's at wit's ends. I can be in my house. I can be vacuuming. I can hear his truck coming in and out. I can hear the rocks being dumped into dump trucks. You have no idea, unless you live there or live in the vicinity, what we're enduring day after day after day. It's really, I wish that something could be done and something done soon. He doesn't have the right to do it. He was never granted the right to do it. And he continues to break the guidelines of what the planning board and select board is allowed him to do. Something needs to be done. And sorry if I'm agitated, but when you listen to this, I didn't work all my life to retire in my home to have to listen to this.
His permit was for storage.
We understand that, but thank you for your comments. We hear your emotion, we hear your concern. You're not the only one who's expressed these concerns. We've been advised by legal counsel because of the ongoing legal action that is taking place, that the best thing for us to do at this point is to document what is happening. So if you are interested in providing videos or other documentation to the town, if you can do that in an official fashion to Karen Clement, that would be the most useful right now.
Okay, if someone, I'm not an ignorant person when it comes to technology, but I even went out and bought a converter for my phone, because it was only on my phone. I bought the converter, I bought a USB drive. If there's someone here that would be able to direct me, I can't get it to you.
I'm sure we can have some folks from our communications committee or our AV folks can help you get that information. Sure. Yeah, that's not a problem.
Thank you, I appreciate
But
that.
because of the ongoing litigation and the fact that the judge ordered a stay, we are really not able to do much right now other than collect data. So if you would like to help us collect that data and give us videos, give us any other documentation that you have, we'd be very happy to take it.
I want you to know, like, I hear it too. I'm outside, my boys are asking, what the heck is that noise? We hear it too, so you're.
It's great. And what I have a concern about, I have video on here that I can show you about the dust that was going on Route 125 tonight.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Some dust. Thank you. That lady,
Yeah.
whenever.
We have techie folks who can help you.
Yeah, and I had a question about not doing anything. So when it comes to like documenting decibel readings and noise, is that something that they should do? Or like what's the?
No. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I was told that that is a private, the company has to hire a private person to do a noise level study. It can't be done by me.
Yeah, I don't think the decibel, I think it's more video or photographic evidence of the activity that's taking place on the site that would be the most helpful from residents.
Thank you.
We hear you, 100%.
I have more videos here. I want to review it now.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, Lynn Austin, 58 College Falls Road. So same topic, 62 to 66. We're all familiar with the planning board meeting minutes. We're familiar with the cease and desist that you offered. As a private citizen, I feel that I should be able to now, since you guys can't do anything, I don't have time to go out and document every single day for the 15 hours that he's doing these violations. But I consider it a noise violation at this point in time, and I believe I do have the right to actually call the police and complain about a noise violation, and that the police should be responding to that. And I think that's a horrible waste of their resources when we're already stretched and there are so many other things that they need to be doing. But if that's what we have to do to get some action done, then that's what I feel compelled to do. Because we are listening to this from 7 a.m., sometimes 6:30 a.m., not Monday through Friday, 7 to 3 p.m. as listed on the planning board approval permit of use. It's 7 days a week. It was old last year, it was old 6 months before last year, and it is really old now. I guess my question to you, since you've already answered that you really can't do anything on advice of counsel, is I am concerned, having read the entire document of his court case and what he is alleging versus the planning board meetings that I've attended and watched. I was distressed to read that he alleges that the town inspector had gone to the site and had told him that he was permitted to sift loam and to do processing. That's part of what he's alleging in that huge court document that's 22 pages or whatever it is. He names the person as well. So my concern is that are the town, the select board, the planning board, and the inspector all on the same page and in agreement? That's a rhetorical question, you don't have to answer, but I would hope that you're all in agreement as to what the permitted use was that was granted back in 2020, and the reasons and the steps for why the cease and desist was ordered, that it wasn't just based on community complaints and concerns about noise, it goes far wider and deeper than that, and it goes to the legalities of being non-compliant day in and day out.
Thank you for your comments. Any other public comment? You're welcome. Come on up. If you have something to say, now's your chance.
My name's Ken Austin, 58 Harder Falls Road. I'm adjacent to that property, 6266. It seems like you think this is funny. Yes, I'm sorry. That's why I got up. I don't get up and talk. I have prostate cancer.
Sir, can I stop you for a second?
Every single day now. I hear this guy at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you're telling me by counsel you cannot do anything.
Sir, I apologize if something about my words made you think I thought this was funny. I do not.
The town attorney to come to my doorstep and listen to this noise, this dust, everything. He's been non-compliant. He should be fined. A house next door to me just went for $500,000. He would be fined over $500,000 a day. We pay our taxes on time. I'm going to go out there tonight and I'm going to start burning brush with no permit. You're not going to stop me. That's the way I feel, because you're not stopping him over there. Have a good night, have a good sleep, not us. He says, a selectman says he can hear it from his house. He's way down on Lake Road. Now do you know why I'm so aggravated? Stop smiling.
Sir, I really apologize if you've misinterpreted
don't
something.
apologize. Don't.
I hear every concern.
No, you don't hear everything.
Okay, thank you for your comments.
Get the town attorney in here and get him over at my house and let's go. Let's hear it.
Anyone else interested in public comment?
Yeah.
So I just like to say, when you have a family member going through cancer, rest is important. And this is really above and beyond the pale, because this is a situation that was brought to the attention of the public bodies that we elected years ago, and it's still ongoing. And I understand the legalities of not being able to address something as a board, but certainly something from the police department, you're aware of what's happening over there. You're aware of the health hazards. Her video is beyond distressing for what she did today. Even driving over here today, they were still working and still processing materials. It has to stop.
They better.
Something needs to be done.
We hear you.
They should go over there, they should see what's actually happening. Take a look at Deb's videos. It is it's unbelievable what we're seeing through, and we're across 125 for them. I feel sorry for the people whose property are actually adjacent, everyone on the Canyon, Diana Canyon Circle. It's just.
We hear you 100%, and there's ongoing legal action.
Day one, you guys know this, it was supposed to be done a year ago.
We hear you.
It's enough.
Thank you.
They can't do anything. Prove the storage right now. That's a bunch of BS.
As I think this conversation has gotten a little bit off the rails at this point. There's ongoing legal action. We've shared, what we can. We don't talk about ongoing legal action in public session. I hope everyone in this room understands. Everyone on this board has heard multiple residents give us information. We've seen videos. I've seen a video on Facebook, which might in fact be your video. We are very aware of this, and there's no one on this board who is not extremely sensitive to the situation and very much looks forward to it being resolved as quickly as possible.
And if we do anything beyond what we're doing right now, we could actually harm the chances of making progress against it. Like, this is really hard for us to sit here and listen to you all suffering because we know, we get it.
I mean, I will treat you with respect, and I'm not
If you have something else to say, you're welcome to.
People are,
If it's
we empathize with that. It's just we feel very stuck too, and we don't want to harm the town's chances of making progress. And that's why we have to do what we're doing right now. We have to let that process play out through the courts. That if we don't do that, it's gonna go backwards.
Just one quick question, and I appreciate everything that you're doing, and just one quick question, and this is probably be for law enforcement. How about the dust that's going across in 125 when the west wind blows? And the amount of, there was a lot of silica on the highway, silica dust on the highway. Would that not be a hazard to the motorists on Route 125? And I'm just, a simple question.
The unfortunate answer that I will give you is it has not proven itself to be any sort of hazard at this point.
Okay. All right, thank you. Appreciate your time.
And if I can just address everyone, if you're not familiar with the justice system, it moves very slow.
Yeah.
We all want results immediately, but we just have to be patient and it moves slow.
Trying.
No, and I get it, and with the board as a police department, we all sympathize with you guys too. But, they say patience is a virtue, and it is, and hopefully the end result will be a good one.
And to that end, Karen did just let me know that the next hearing date on this issue is May 13th. So it's only next month. It's, things are moving ahead here.
Can the public over there comment, or is it just for town council in the court?
You could go, but
I
you're
mean,
not going to be
I
able to
go-
comment. It's open to the public. It's a
Okay.
public
You
hearing.
can sit in the gallery, and
You can sit in the gallery.
yeah, you can't
Should
comment and disrupt.
town council be provided with video of what's going on there? I do not know.
So town council had advised us to collect this data.
Okay.
Town council is going to be aware of that data and is already extremely aware of what's happening at that site. Yeah, thank you.
Can I make one comment? Jen?
Sure.
And I realize I may be in discord with, council on this, but I have to say, because I truly believe it, that these continuing violations are ones that I feel are ones that we could legally charge for. And I understand that there may be some discord between myself and, what council has advised, but I have to, set forth my honest belief on that.
Any other public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will close public comment at 7:44, and we will move on to regular business. We will start with committee updates and any other board business, and we will start with Andy.
I attended my first library trustees meeting. They're working on a public ribbon cutting ceremony, to say the less, for the amphitheater. which is moving along nicely. And that was about it from the library. They have a lot of stats that I'm trying to learn. They're a very stat-based driven society with acronyms, so I'm trying to work my way through that. They did have a couple questions that we'll have to work through of property use for the old baseball field. And then they will also be bringing us alternates. Even though we have no control over the alternates by state law, that we appoint the alternates. So that's all I have.
We have rec actually at the town office tomorrow at 6:30. I think it's 6:30. It will not be here, which is the unusual thing. Yeah, for the first time, rec will be live streamed. That's all I got.
So I attended my first Conservation Commission meeting. There was a lot of issues, but the two that I feel were most important, but Becky, please feel free to fill in any gaps. One was, I think, a real sense of wanting to make sure that the bylaws were properly in place to guide the commission moving forward. So there's a working session on that, and then as well there was a vote to appoint a subcommittee to deal with the open space bonding moving forward, which I think will be of significant help in terms of identifying those kinds of conservation properties that can be brought forward for us to listen to. So I think that was a real good step. That subcommittee hasn't been filled yet, but my understanding is that will be a topic for the next conservation meeting, because I'd like to see that subcommittee filled.
Paul, is there any forward movement on the Swayze conservation property?
We didn't discuss that, other than it was just still out there, right?
The family's still considering options.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Dexter was there.
Okay, so still be in the consideration phase.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything else of importance?
April 20th, townwide cleanup.
Oh, thank you.
Here, 7
Yes.
a.m.
Yes.
7 or 8?
No, 8.
8? Here at 7. You'll be early to be back.
I was going to say, wait, so 80.
If you're here at 7, you're not going to get your donuts.
No, I picked them up at 7:30.
Thank you for that.
It's right on the website, Amy.
www.residential.gov.
Check it out, there's even a
Take
calendar.
it over for me.
May I add something to that?
Yes.
In consultation with the police department, we came up with some guidelines, safety guidelines about hazardous materials. I posted on the bulletin board, we'll have handouts on Saturday morning, and Andy has taken some for recreation, things having to do with hypodermic needles or bottles that may be hazardous, etc., and how to use gloves and be sure you're careful when you go out and do that. So those are going to be available,
Great, thank you.
and it's posted.
And we're happy to come out and help,
Yep.
if you guys find any items.
You just can't get them fingerprinted for 3 years.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Drug paraphernalia is not illegal.
Yeah, I can remember.
What's inside of it?
Yeah.
Planning board was canceled because of snow 2 weeks ago. There's another planning board meeting on Thursday. The communications committee meeting was canceled last week because people were unavailable. I think I actually have no updates. Yeah. Oh, that's not true. I lied. Doug would like to make an update from the RPC.
Okay. So close. Oh.
I'll speak loud.
Use that one there.
Good evening.
Make sure it's on.
Hello.
You got it. Oh, thanks.
Good evening. RPC was last week, and Dave Walker, who spoke tonight, he talked about the 10-year plan
and what our options are for the town and whether or not we'd be interested. My thought process in listening to him at that meeting that evening was in reference more the rec center. And in the charrette, we talked about, there was talk about a roundabout, crosswalk, a walking tunnel where it was existing, anything to do with safety to go on a 10-year plan. Tonight's presentation was good because it led right into some other options and grants for possibility. And Stephanie, our vice chair on the planning board, reached out to Dave and invited him to come to one of our meetings. And it looks like he's going to attend the 16th. We don't have a definite time, but I would encourage anybody on the select board who'd like to participate and ask him questions in reference not only to possible roundabouts or safety issues that might be affiliated with the rec or the roundabout they were speaking about this evening. We might be able to get some good insights. So as soon as we have more information, we'll pass it on to Karen. And with a definitive time, we're looking to try and bring him in early because he's full of information. And just a quick update on the master plan that they talked about with the kids coming from the school and everything like that. Environmental issues seem to be one of the key factors. Housing was a major factor, and accessibility to jobs in the area. There were several others, but pretty much what we had spoke about last time. And they're going to have 2 or 3 more meetings before they do a full presentation on that for the master plan. And anything that happens on going back to the 10-year plan, the deadline for application is June 5th, if we want to apply for anything.